So I'm really wondering what they're gonna do with Fontaine next. Because for Fontaine, I mean Hydro in general, we've been introduced to HP based mechanics like healing and then having as and actually wait. Oh my god, I'm gonna go into a Hydro off tangent here. Wait, okay. This is part of my this is part of my agenda. Anyways, so as you can see, I think most of the Hydro characters that we have right now are HP scaling, like Nilu, Candace, and then Yelan, and then Ayato, Kokumi even, and then with Singcho, there's a little bit of HP scaling, but it's more like it's more for the rain swords, for the healing of the rain swords, and then yes, of course, Barbara, our resident F2P healer. Hydra healer, the very first one, and yeah, only Childe and Mona aren't HP scalers at the moment. So I'm really wondering if we're gonna be introduced to more HP scaling Fontaine characters in the future, and I really wonder if they're gonna add something new to Hydra in general. And aside from HP and healing, we do also have some other common themes between Hydro characters in general. Because actually, in case you didn't know, there are some Hydro characters that use illusions. So especially, for example, Mona right here, she according to her lore, she can infer the fates. She can infer fates or read fates by looking at the reflection of the stars. Looking at the reflection of the stars on the water. Yes. And then wait, actually let me go get her kit real quick just to explain better. This is supposed to be a PowerPoint topic, but I do not mind. I love talking about this. Okay, so if you take a look at her talents, even in her burst description, the term illusory bubble is used. So, and this one too, her sprint is called illusory torrent. Yeah. And then I do not have Ayato, but there's also an illusion term for his skill, because to those who do not have Ayato, wait, I can see that from the character archive. Wait, wait. Let me go see. Okay. We sort by Hydro again. Also, Turon, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Okay. Details for Ayato. Talents. Okay, this one. This one. Wait. Where's the one that is... Wait. There we go. I found the term now. So, as you can see here in his description for the skill, after this ship, he will leave a watery illusion at his original location. So, actually, whenever you hold his skill... Oh, wait. Actually, yeah. Whenever you do his skill, he will actually leave a watery after image of himself. It's kind of like a taunt, but also not really. Yeah. Wait, it's not a taunt, right? Yeah, it's not a taunt, but it will explode at enemies nearby. Yeah, that's another example of an illusion. And then of course with Yelan right here, let me go get my Yelan thing real quick. When it comes to Yelan, we do know that her skill lets her run at very fast speeds. And okay, if we take just two demos right here. Okay, so she can do this, right? It Canonically, she can actually turn invisible with that skill alone, because in one of her animated trailers, if you remember, there was one trailer wherein she had to investigate some Fatui, and she was actually eavesdropping at two Fatui at one point, and during that whole time, she was just invisible. So yeah, just like what JF said, um, one of foreshadowing the illusion slash magic trick scene we're seeing in Fontaine all the way from 1.0. Yes, exactly. Like it actually gives me goosebumps that some Fontaine themes have already been revealed to us, or at least um foreshadowed all the way back in 1.0. I can't believe this. And among all of the Hydro characters that we have so far, the one that has the closest, let's say the closest foreshadowing to Fontaine is actually Childe. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out here. So, to those who to those who do not know, Childe is actually a theater. He's actually a theater kid. In one of his character stories, it was mentioned that he actually likes watching shows, and sometimes he would even get up on stage to join the show. But other than that, um, across his across all of his character stories, it has been mentioned that ever since Child was a child, wow, Child was a child. He actually has this sense of adventure. Like he also he kind of has this I wanna be a protagonist vibe going on, especially whenever he feels inspired by the heroic stories that his father tells him. So yeah, and then I do have a feeling that by the time that Child fell into the abyss and then got up from there again, I do have a feeling that this sort of I want to be a protagonist vibe that he had ever since he was a child, I I think it might have been warped for some reason after he went through the abyss, because we do know that the abyss has very sinister effects on people. Like there has been numerous times wherein the desires of people have either been amplified, but usually it's not in a good way. It kind of feels like the desires of people become delusions, or even some sort of obsession. So yeah, I think that's what happened with Child, because he did start to have a very intense yearning for combat and being really strong in combat. So yeah, that's one point right there. And then on the other hand, if we talk about his hydro skills in general, take note that during the during the Liyue Archon quest, he can actually turn himself into water. So if you remember that one cutscene in the, what was the child domain called again? The Golden House. The Golden House. He actually turned himself into a stream of water before floating all the way up to the ceiling. So yeah, that is really cool. And we also do know, especially to all the child havers have out there, all the child havers out there, child can also um he can summon weapons that are made of water. Yeah, that's the point of his skill and his burst actually. Like legit, I still cannot believe until now that the developers were able to make a make a character that wields many weapons. Yeah. So, for example, for his skill, he can wield dual blades, and then on his burst, you have the option to let him use a hydro bow or let him use a hydro pole arm. So yeah, it goes to show that, like what the Oceanid from Leo said, the power of water is its ability to take any shape. So yeah, there also have been a lot of instances wherein we got to see hydro enemies or hydro elementals that can that can disguise themselves into any shape or form. Like, of course, it all comes back to the Oceanid and her mimics all over again. Like, I will never get over the fact that the Oceanid enemy has already been introduced to us way back in 1.0. So I also can't really wait to see if we're gonna get more Oceanids in Fontaine. However, what I am trying to figure out is that I really wonder how they're gonna introduce Oceanid lore, because it has been mentioned back then that the Oceanids actually fled Fontaine when the previous Hydro Archon passed away. So um, they basically did not recognize Focalors as the next Hydro Archon. So there might be some beef between that between between the Oceanids and the current Hydro Archon. Yeah, Oceanid voice lines PTSD. Yeah, yeah. And what else? What else? Oh yeah, if we're talking about Child again, we do know that in his boss form, he can summon a whale, a very large whale. Like who on earth taught him how to manipulate water like that? That is way too advanced. And also it just really makes me wonder why on earth is Hoyoverse not revealing Child's Hydra Vision story, because to those who do not know, the only story that we got from him when it comes to his vision, we did not get anything at all for his vision. We do have a delusion story though, and we do know that his delusion is Electro. But other than the story behind his Electro delusion, we do not know anything about his Hydro vision at all, at all. So it's still a mystery as to how he got it exactly. But recently I did see a tweet from someone that said wait, I'm gonna try to find out. Oh wait, that's not the constellation name. It's I think it's the burst description. This one. This is, I think this is this is just one of the very few mentions on his hydropower right here. So, Child's burst description says, rushing waters are rarely seen in his snowy homeland. Perhaps his ability to command water is due to his understanding of just how precious it is. But other than that, we know nothing. We know nothing at all. And like what I we really do not have any clue on no. Oh my god, Chad is such a mystery. I cannot believe this. And there's also this thing with Child wherein he tends to, even though he doesn't like scheming, unlike his other co-workers in the Harbingers, we do know that Child also tends to pretend quite a lot. I mean, not only through his theater shenanigans, but also through how he presents himself towards his family. Because back in his story quest back then, we did get to find out that Child introduces himself as a toy seller when it comes to his sibling Teucer. But we do know that Chad is not he's not a toy seller at all. It's just an alibi that he made up so that Teucer will not know the dark work experience that Child is currently going through when it comes to the Fatui. Like I forgot the exact quote, but I think Child said something like, I do not want to let him know Snaznaya's darker side, something like that. And then you also do know from that quest that Child wants to be a protector of childhood dreams. So it's kind of like he is lying to Teucer so that he can protect him better. This is actually one of the things that made me realize that in Genshin um illusions are not inherently evil. Like, sure, illusions in Genshin can be tools for deception, but at the same time, illusions can be used in for different purposes. Like, we do know that illusions can be used for entertainment to create a spectacle. We also do know that illusions can be used to learn from from the surroundings, like what the oceanids are doing with their hydro mimics. Like, it was mentioned before that they try to mimic the forms of other animals so that they can connect with the world better, something like that. And then we also do know that illusions can be used for self-protection. It includes, for example, concealing yourself in a bubble, like what the Hydro Abyss Mages are doing. And then what else? Oh yeah, if we take a look at, for example, Yelan, she as an intel as someone who is actively gathering intel for her agent work, she has to be really stealthy. And then aside from that, oh my god, I am going in a rabbit hole right here. um if we recall the entire 3.8 event right now, so we did get to see hydro eidolons, right? Those little blobs of hydro that can mimic the forms of other NPCs who went to the Vellurium Mirage before. That is another one. And even Idia herself. So Idia is not actually human. Idia is actually an oceanid. She just presented herself as a human because she doesn't want it's kind of like she doesn't want others to see her oceanid form. Yeah. Oh, illusions are also a form of self protection, like what I've said earlier. And yeah, that's a lot. That's actually a lot. And then if we connect all of that to the recent Fontaine trailer, the one wherein we got to see Linny and Lene and Linny and Lynette and other, and as well as all the other Hydro, as well as all the other Fontaine characters. There was a very prominent theme about illusions and magic and acting. Acting. Arlecchino was the one who brought up acting. So yeah, oh my god. Oh my I really cannot wait to see how Fontaine will play out, especially when it comes to discussing illusions and magic and acting. And especially if we're talking about Fontaine's justice system, which we don't know that much about at the moment. But you know that in judiciary systems, we do know that whenever there's a court trial or something, we do have two sides. The what was it called again? Basically, what was it called again? Um, the prosecution and the other one. Prosecution and the other one. Basically, in order to win a case, one of the things you can do to win is to present a valid argument, present your evidences, present your witnesses. And we do know that in a lot of cases, including crime scenes, we do know that we everyone doesn't get to see the entire picture. So a trial is one of the ways that you can see the entire picture of a crime or a case or something. So I really do wonder if the reason why Focalors is so fond of immersing herself in the trial atmosphere. Maybe it's because she's fond of seeing how deceptions and yeah, how deceptions play out in a court trial, because actually you can do that if yeah, if the okay, we do not know yet if we do not know yet whether or not Fontaine's judicial system is um is good or not. Because for all we know, maybe it can be corrupt or something. But yeah, but I think there will just be a lot of deception going on in Fontaine in any shape or form, whether it's court trials or even the nature of Tebat's world building itself. So yeah, a lot of thoughts. I could go on about this. This is supposed to be a PowerPoint topic. Yeah, that is the off tangent for now. Yes. Let me go read the chats real quick. This turned into an off tangent. You know what? This is how excited I am for Fontaine. Okay. Reflections and illusions of water equals I'm predicting a house or hall of mirrors level puzzle and Fontaine. Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing. It actually also crossed my mind that you know how mirrors can also be used in optical illusions, right? Some museums tend to have that, like just a room full of mirrors, and then it kind of gives off an illusion of having an endless feel to it. So I am really hoping that we get something like that in Fontaine. Oh, now that you brought up mirrors, actually there are also when I was researching about this topic, it it um it 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 made me realize that there's actually a lot of mirror symbolisms in Genshin. Even I think they're more prominent in Azuma and Sumeru especially. Like for example, in Azuma, if we recall that cutscene in, I think this would be way better if I if I flash the cutscene or something. But wait, maybe I'll go set it up at some point. But yeah, for now you'll just get my verbal explanation. Anyways, so in that one cutscene in the Raiden Shogun Act 2 story quest, when the traveler and Paimon went to the realm of consciousness, we did get to see lots of a lot of glass shards while we're about to teleport to wherever A is. So yeah, it's like it kind, if you replay that cutscene, it's like a broken mirror. And then another mirror symbolism in Azuma was during Yaimiko's story quest. Actually, the I don't remember the Yaimiko story quest that much now, but what I do remember is that Yaimiko also used a mirror to summon some sort of spirit from back in the day. Yeah, it as early as in Azuma, there are already mirror symbolisms. And then if we go to the Sumero Archon quest, I think this is also actually in YouTube. Um, you know that cutscene between Scaramouche and Nahida, wherein Nahida Nahida presented to Scaramouche that this is the blah 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 loop of the Sub-Serious Festival Samsara. We've been going through this many loops for so long now. And you can actually see behind Nahida during that scene that the backgrounds the background just turned into a huge broken mirror. Yeah, it's more like pieces of shattered glass showing the different loops that the entirety of wait, not the yeah, that the entirety of Sumeru has gone through. So yeah. And then um aside from that, we do know that to those who are playing Honkai Star Rail, we also do have a few mirror symbolisms there, but I think they're much more, they are much more direct, so to speak. So in Honkai Star Rail, the equivalent for constellations is eidolons, and the eidolons in Honkai Star Rail look like pieces, look like broken pieces of glass. Like, once again, it's like a shattered mirror all over again. And the more you unlock eidolons in Honkai Star Rail, the more you get to see different angles of the character. So yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like it symbolizes how one perceives a person, because in the real world we do know that um the perception of yourself versus the perception of other people will be very different. Like, for example, your family members will think differently of you, as well as your friends, as well as your classmates, as well as your other peers, as well as strangers, and so on and so forth. Even your perception of yourself is different from from their perceptions. And in line with that, I do think that if we go back to the possible narrative themes of Fontaine, I do believe that we're gonna be seeing a lot of stuff that's related to perceptions in general. So yeah. And also, speaking of other mirror symbolisms in Honkai Star Rail, so actually the portal for the Forgotten Hole, which is basically the spiral abyss of Honkai Star Rail, the portal there is a broken mirror. So yeah. Also, there is one Honkai Star Rail character there. She's called March 7th. March 7th actually has a very weird mirror in her room in the train, and I think I would like to go back there again at some point, because the mirror doesn't actually show you a normal reflection. Yeah, it's very weird. So yeah, I think that would be another note to self for me. I will try my best to pay attention to more mirrors in Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. I don't actually, I do not know. I do not know if Honkai Impact also has mirror symbolisms, but there could be. Maybe I just don't know about it. So so yeah, I think there's just a lot of themes that are overlapping in between Hoyoverse games at this point. And yeah, just to close off the entire mirrors topic, I do believe until now that the Hydro, wait, no, not Hydra, Mirror Maiden, that the Mirror Maiden is, I think until now I think she's one of the very first foreshadowings about Fontaine, or the illusory aspect of Hydra in general. Because take note that the Mirror Maiden is one of the earliest Inazuma enemies that we've been introduced to. Right from the very start of version 2.0, the Mirror Maiden was already there. And mirrors are actually the key point of her combat mechanics. And if I were to summarize her entire story, basically what happened was that she saw something in the mirror, and then ever since then she just covered her eyes with, yeah, that's why her eyes are covered. And then aside from that, um, she also uses her hydro mirrors to deceive people. Yeah, it's her form of illusory magic. So yeah, I would really really love it if Fontaine is also gonna discuss this aspect of Hydra in the future. Yeah. Yes. That would be my that would be my off tangent about Hydro for now. This is supposed to be, I do not mind talking about this again, because I am actually planning to have a PowerPoint stream for this, or Yes. I should make this into a Twitch highlight or something.